Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
October! And the trees are stripped bare of all they wear. What do I care? No worries in these parts, right? Some leaves, some debris, but for the most part, the trees stay intact. Yeah, it's an old YouTube prayer from their second LP. The song October off of the album October. We play it for you, but it's a prayer, and it's very slow. It's very mellow. But if you're, late at night and you're staring at the stars, it's certainly one that I do recommend. It's the shortest song they ever did right. I love October, and I understand it came to us a day ago, but Tuesday felt like a Monday on into the night because on Monday we were with you 2 to 4. Last night got back to our regularly scheduled program. Didn't even go through my yearly proclamation. At one point, October was truly one of my favorite 12 months of the year, right? But far and away, it is number one for me. And it's not even close. And I hope this year it means a little bit more than just great sporting events. I hope people wake up. I hope Duval wakes up after being snake bit in 0-4. My goodness, is Brock Glenn really getting the football this weekend for Florida State? I mean, you talk about a horror show. You've got to be, are you really giving the football to Brock Glenn Saturday night in God's country? They're a 15-point dog. Raphael Esparza a little bit later on in the show. We'll check the money with him. We'll take a look at that game. We'll take a look at Florida and UCF. We'll take a look at the Jaguars. Hey, Indianapolis hasn't won here in forever. They still control the series. They're up 27-19 lifetime, but here in Duval, it has been dominant as of late with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Without Raphael Esparza, there was a debate last night, and it was civil. We'll ask him if the money is moved on who the next president of the United States is going to be. And you may laugh, but the highest wagered event year after year after year after year is the Super Bowl. The presidential election blows it out of the water 10 times or more. We're talking about billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars that are being spent by you out there. I would think you would bet on who you vote, right? Or maybe you don't. I don't know. We'll get into that. That'll be a little bit later on. That's coming up here tonight. October's so great, right? We get into conference play in college football. We get deep into the NFL season. You start to get a pretty decent feel for what's going on with your team, albeit I think there's a lot of uncertainty here, all right? Everyone's down, and I get it. September was awful. You should have gone 3-1. You went 0-4. 3 winnable games up next. Indianapolis is beaten up on both the offensive and defensive side of the football. It feels like Jacksonville is getting a little bit more encouraging as far as their health. Only a Wednesday. Tomorrow will be very important. Friday as well. We'll keep you updated. I'll get to that in just a little bit. But it feels like outside of Hines Allen in the concussion protocol and Devin Lloyd with the knee as a linebacker, the others all limited today. So that absolutely is a positive. I think Indianapolis had 6 players who had a DMP. Did not practice again. We'll get there momentarily. Hockey begins in a week. Hockey is my favorite sport. I don't talk about it all that much because I understand. Oh, my goodness. I understand the audience, right? Even though the Puckheads draw, it's a great minor league town. And you have great facilities here. You really do. But with the Jumbo Shrimp and with the Puckheads, right? The Iceman. It's a cool activity. It's a great place to take the entire family. Love hockey, and it's here. Very excited about it. I mean, I'm a fan from day one, just like I'm a fan from day one of the NFL and college football. I just don't talk about it all that much. NBA coming up a little bit later on this month. And, of course, we're in day 2 of the Major League Baseball playoffs, where at least early on it has been, for the most part, in the American League, all about pitching. Houston gone. Detroit a winner today, 5-2. The Royals up early. Now, actually, it's not early. We're midway through this baseball game. 1-0 right now, Kansas City. So road teams trying to, take away the home field advantage. If you look at what happened on Tuesday, the first 3 games, the road teams were a winner. San Diego did shut out Atlanta late last night, if you did miss it. So the Braves up against it. They've got a win coming up a little bit later on tonight. But we'll keep you updated on everything that is happening in Major League Baseball. So it's great to have you with us. This is the best month of the year as far as sports fans. You get all 4 of the majors. And as I was trying to say with Jacksonville, with things being really, really down, I would love to be a positive guy and say to you, Jacksonville's going to win the next 3. They could. They absolutely could. They could beat Indy on Sunday. They could turn around, fly that plane, go to London, act like London's yours. London's your home away from home. We're all going to be up at, 6 a.m., 7 a.m. to pre-party for those games at 9:30 in the morning. They could beat the Patriots. They could beat the Bears. This team could win 3 in a row. Then it gets difficult again. 4 very tough opponents. And then towards the end of the year, I think it's the exact opposite of what we saw in 2023, where I've said all along, I think Jacksonville's going to win the final 5 out of 6. And that was my preseason prognostication. Obviously, what's most important was when you make the pick the week of the game, because you got to put into consideration so many different things, including injuries, and absolutely including just the overall way the team looks. And right now here in Duval, that team has not looked good. All right, the recent clutter, I think, is intriguing. Jordan Schultz said that he heard from a couple of players and that Doug Peterson's lost the locker room. I know Jordan Schultz a little bit. We've had him on the program. I'm not a big fan of questioning other reporters unless I know they're making it up, like, let's say, Jason La Canfora, okay? And he put out a blast this week. I do think there are times when it's obvious that there's turmoil, right? And a coach is on the hot seat, that there is some guesswork. And that people will throw out there, he's lost the locker room. He's on the cusp of being fired. I don't believe that they're always sourced. I'm not saying that about Jordan Schultz. I do find it a little bit interesting that he's been tipped off about this and no one in the city has. There's a difference, okay? Breaking news is nearly impossible for the local reporters because breaking news comes straight from agents. And agents are going to go to the information reporters, Rappaport, Schefter, for a time. It really began with Sean McDonough's dad, the great Will McDonough, formerly of the Boston Globe. I actually worked with Will for a little bit at Sporting News Radio, but he was like the first information guy, and he did so with NBC Sports, right? Then Peter King kind of took that over, and you've got the Jay Glazers, you've got others, but people are like, why aren't you breaking news? Why aren't you breaking news? Well, unless the player tells you, where are you going to find out? Well, someone's leaking it from within the building. Well, okay, but no one was leaking anything under the Coughlin regime, right, for fear of losing their own job. It got a little sideways, perhaps, with Marone and Gus prior to that. Right now, I don't believe that there's massive leakage coming out of the Miller Electric Center. But anyway, I do think oftentimes it becomes what I would term educated guesswork. Okay, you can put together the answer to the questions. Doug Peterson on Sunday saying, hey, players have to make plays. This threw him right under the bus. I think after that, you can form your own opinion. Again, I don't want to misjudge Jordan Schultz here. But anyway, it's become a story. Today, Doug Peterson met with the media. He had updates on injured players, and then, bam, he was asked, have you lost the locker room?
Yeah, I would know. I talk to these guys every day. I see them every day. And no, I have not lost the locker room. I think these guys have done everything I've asked. They continue to play and practice hard and battle, and it's a good group. It's a good group. The right leaders in there, and they know what we need to do, and they're not making excuses for it, and I'm not going to make excuses, and we just got to go do it.
Let's be honest here. Who's going to come out and say it? Is Doug Peterson going to say, yeah, I've lost them? Have you ever heard that? I mean, again, ever. Have you ever heard a coach? I mean, if you've lost the team, what you do is you become Bobby Petrino, right? And you become the Midnight Rider. And you get on a Harley, and you just blast through 85 and head out of Atlanta. That's what you do, right? No one has ever come out and said, yeah, great question there, man. Yeah, I've lost them. I just hope they find a way to pull it out Sunday. They're going to retire Tom Coughlin. I hope they come together and play hard. But, yeah, it's disappointing. They're gone. No one's ever said that. How about the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, today? He began his interview and his press conference by being asked the same question.
I mean, I shouldn't even have to. You got to do your job, so you got to ask it. But I shouldn't even have to answer it. I mean, not at all. I don't know where that's coming from, so I don't even want to really expand on something that's just not true. So
what does this do? I tell you what it does. Nothing. Nothing at all. Predictable answers from these questions that need to be asked. You will be able to tell. Forget about the ears for a moment. You'll be able to tell with your eyes whether or not this team has given up or has not given up. Because how else do you lose a locker room? What else can you possibly do? Right? You can't walk away from what the coach is saying to you. He'll fine you. You're not going to turn around and put a name on it and destroy what's happening internally to members of the media. Again, everything is going to be anonymous. Everything is going to be sourced, someone close to. But the only way that you can really tell if you have lost a locker room or you have lost a football team is by their lack of effort and execution on game day, period. Now, I don't think that that's been the case in 4 games. I think that they have made a tremendous amount of mistakes. I think it's been a combination of bad offensive play, terrible play calling, a bad defensive scheme, and a lot of injuries. Okay? And then when you start getting into that part of it, that's where people will say, here come the excuses. We're injured. All along, I said, do not bring back this offensive line. This is one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. What did they sell all offseason? We got to get all these guys healthy, all 5 out there together. I actually thought the offensive line played their best game of the year this past Sunday. It was definitely the best game for Cam Robinson and the best game for Anton Harrison. The interior offensive line didn't allow a pass pressure the entire game. As a matter of fact, there was only one that was recorded by Houston, and that came to Anton Harrison. But we all remember Big Foley making the play there on 4th and, goal on an empty backfield on a quarterback sneak from a shotgun, which goes back to my point here, okay? You can't just blame 1 or 2 people. That's unfair. The other side is when you pay a guy $275 million, Trevor Lawrence has to make plays. And he hasn't, right? He sailed one over Gabe Davis's head. He had 2 touchdowns there. Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Kirk. He missed them all. On the flip side, they didn't run the ball enough in the first half where they were picking up yardage with both backs. And then you put into the equation terrible play calling. Tank takes it 58 yards. You're at the 2. You get them out of there. They didn't. That's inexcusable. That is pathetic. And not only did they leave him in, they ran him on 1st and goal and then ran him on 2nd and goal. The guy's tired. You get him out. That's a problem. Okay? That is a huge problem. 3rd down, Trevor makes the pass. You hit Gabe Davis right in the face mask. You cannot drop that ball. For a team that's limping like this, for a team that is so desperate for a win, great players have to make great plays. Is it unfair for me to call Gabriel Davis a great player? Probably. He's never caught more than 48 balls in a year. But he had a chance to make a play, and he didn't. And then on 4th down, let's go back to just awful play calling. An empty backfield, a quarterback sneak from the shotgun. So it's been a plethora of things. It's not just one guy or not just one coach. It's been one after the other, after the other, after the other. And right now, you have to believe that this football team, if they don't fix it, it's only going to get worse. It really is. And if he has lost the locker room, you'll start to see guys give up a little bit. The years that I got a better appreciation the 8 years that I was on the field as a sideline reporter. Okay? There's not a lot of tomfoolery when it comes to effort because the tape doesn't lie. These contracts, for the most part, are not guaranteed. You're always playing for your next one. And outside of a guy like Dante Moncrief, who I saw with my own 2 eyes take plays off. Who was the, I can't even think of it, Julius Thomas. After he
came
got,
pretty fat from
right,
Denver, yeah.
After he got the bag, I'll never forget the 3rd and 2 play. I mean, turn around your head and shoulders and pick up the freaking first down. He didn't. He became slow and fat. And effort was a concern. But those are only 2 that come to mind. It's very rare in this sport because they are smart enough or they have been told time and again from their agent or whoever it is that represents them, whoever's part of their small circle, bro, you can't loaf. We were talking about Patrick Payton earlier on this year, Joshua Farmer, Marvin Jones Jr. early this year at Florida State, not playing hard. How can you not play hard? If you're Trent Baalke or you're one of his scouts, and this applies for all 32 teams, and you are evaluated on how you draft, are you going to go out and draft a guy who takes plays off? That is the worst thing you can have over here. I mean, look at this league. It doesn't matter what you do off the field. It doesn't matter what law you break. It doesn't matter what rules you break. If you can play, you're going to be a part of the NFL. They excuse it. They dismiss it. And you as fans and me, we don't even have a problem with it. By the way, maybe this team needs a couple of players like that. Maybe they need a couple of guys that are out there, that are a little bit risky, that will take some chances, that are dogs. Your character is measured so much by that, but when it comes to on the field, the worst thing you can have is he takes plays off. His motor's not always running. I'll be really surprised if we see that with this group. I think they're professional. But that's how you lose the locker room. In my opinion, that is. I mean, if Peterson walks in and 53 eyes, what? If not all of those eyes are staring at him, okay, that's one thing. Maybe some guys have their head, looking down at the ground and are not paying attention. Okay, maybe there are simple signs and things like that, which I'm not aware of and you're not aware of. But it's too easily thrown around that you've lost the team, you've lost the locker room, in my opinion. Unfortunately, this team has gone through colossal losing streaks. They've also found ways to turn it around, right? 2 years ago, they turned it around. Last year, they had a winning streak early on. They were 8-3, winning a bunch of games. Then they let it get away. This team still has a chance. I really believe that. I think they can win 3 in a row. You got to get that first one, and that is here Sunday against Indianapolis. All right, opening comments tonight brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. The most expensive isn't always the best when it comes to eye care. I'm telling you that. There's a lot of crazy brand new technology that's out there that you don't know anything about. I don't know anything about. And folks in the eye care will tell you, well, we're going to hook you up to this and hook you up to that. And it's telling us this and it's telling us that. And then you get to cataract surgery, which is a fear for so many, right? You just don't want to have surgery. You're worried about it. You can be taking advantage of financially when it comes to cataract surgery. There are plenty of ways around it. Surgery, absolutely. There could be other remedies. That's why you visit the best at Shmunez Vision. And if you do need surgery, all right, whether it's cataract surgery or anything else like mine, 8.5 years ago, it was not cataract surgery. It was something else that needed to come out immediately. And Dr. Neil Shmunez performed it. There's something called a surgery counselor that so many people will go ahead and talk to. What? What's a surgery counselor? If you're putting me under and you're operating on my eye, I want to talk to the individual who is performing that surgery. Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. Neil Shmunez. Don't be fooled by that. It's one of the many things that they offer and why they're so different from the others. It's why they're number one right here in Jacksonville. The great folks at Shmunez Vision. Check them out online. Go to Shmunez Vision. You can also get all of the testimonials from their clients on Instagram at Shmunez Vision as well. All right, we're really busy tonight. It is October, and I'm just feeling it in the studio. I am. I want to begin with some more Jaguar talk. I also really want to get into some college football tonight because I'm still in somewhat of some shock as to what Alabama did, especially going up 28-0. I know they blew it. I mean, it really reminded me of 1994, Florida State, Florida. It did. Knowles down 31-4. I mean, just folks leaving. I bet you 40,000 left. James Colsey picked off Warfel, now the head coach of the Rattlers. James Colsey. I mean, how do you score 4 touchdowns in 10 minutes? That's what Florida State did, led by Danny Cannell and Rock. What was his name? Not Rock Peters. Rock Preston. Rock Preston with Warwick Dunn. That reminded me of that on Saturday night. How did Georgia come back in this game? How did Alabama let them back in the game? And that could be the first of 3 times that they meet this year. They could do it in an SEC championship game. They could absolutely do it in a 12-team college football playoff. Bama came back and won it. We all saw it. But, man, that had to have been nerve-wracking to watch the way that second half went, especially deep into the fourth quarter. But I've heard all along that it's only 3 teams, right? It's Ohio State, it's Texas, and it's Georgia. Well, the number 1 team in America is Alabama. And it's also starting to have, in my opinion, a little bit of a feel that's reminiscent of the National Football League, that on any given day, you can knock off your opponent. Is there really that clear-cut, dominant team in the Big Ten or the SEC? Hey, the beast of the Big 12 lost, right? It wasn't going to be Oklahoma State. It wasn't going to be Kansas State. It wasn't going to be Kansas. No, it was going to be Utah. They got throttled, and they got beat at their game in the ditch, on the, right in the line of scrimmage. I watched that matchup. Shocking development within the Big 12. So I want to get into some college football as well tonight. A lot of good stuff happening here for the next couple of hours. All right, JJ LaSalva joins us on the other side. The best way for you to join the program is our text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Kick off your college football weekend with a Bueller Aaron Plumbing College Kickoff.
I'm Matt Hayes, and I'll help you slide into a college football Saturday with pregame news and notes.
Friday evening at 6, brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL.
There are trucks, then there's the truck, GMC Sierra, with available features like the V8 engine, the ultimate luxury interior, and of course, the available world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC has the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. With manufacturer incentives and Nimnick discounts, you won't find deals like Nimnick's anywhere else in Jacksonville. Who's got more new Sierras at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks GMCs in Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer. Nobody but Nimnick. Shop 24/7 at NimnickBuickGMC.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. So remember, for the best trucks around, it's nobody but Nimnick. You can shop at NimnickBuickGMC.com or visit that terrific showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
If you're getting married or want to upgrade your bands, now is the time at Beard's Diamonds.
Because it's Beard's Diamonds' incredible buy one, get one on wedding band sale.
At the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
In its final year, we encourage you to help create great futures for young people when you run or walk at Mackenzie's Run, Saturday, November 23rd. Join Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for a 5K and 1-mile fun run through the beautiful stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. Enjoy food, live music, face painting, family fun, and more at our Runners Village. Register at MacKenziesRun.org. Mackenzie's 5K and Fun Run, November 23rd. MacKenziesRun.org.
Hey, sports fans, it's Ace Carline from MyBookie. What a week of football and betting was last week. If you haven't bet with MyBookie yet, they are still running the double deposit bonus. Just sign up with promo code 1010XL. We have another huge week starting with college and NFL games on Thursday night. Get signed up now for a little Sun Belt, Fun Belt college matchup. Texas State is a 2-touchdown favorite traveling to Troy. We'll take over 58 points on the total. For Thursday night, NFL, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to Atlanta, where they open as a 2.5-point underdog to the Falcons. I take a long, hard look at betting with the Bucs with the points and parlay that with over 43.5 on the total. For a limited time, MyBookie still has the double deposit bonus. Use that promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit up to $1,000. Double your money with 1010XL before you even place a bet. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie.
Keeping up with Seminole Nation.
Join the Noles and their road to repeat as ACC champs.
Stay close to the Seminoles with the Florida State Seminole Report. Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
Hurricane season is here, and if you own or run a business, you must protect your valuable property from parking lot floods. Call Duck Duck Rooter, your storm drain maintenance experts. Our VACCON team specializes in regular storm drain maintenance to keep your property safe and secure. With Duck Duck Rooter, you can trust our professionals to keep your storm drains clear, preventing floods and ensuring the well-being of your customers and employees. Call us today at 904-862-6769 to schedule your storm drain maintenance. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com for more information.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and now that you have Honda boats on the showroom floor, tell them about the big boat sale.
We are excited. We got a big sale, 11th through 13th. You want to come on down, see us in person. Some of our boats are going to be up to $30,000 off.
Up to $30,000 off?
$30,000 in savings. It's a big sale event.
So they can start shopping online at cyclesofjacksonville.com. The size of the boats?
Anywhere from 19 to 24 foot, all with legendary Honda outboards.
Honda and Coach, check them both out on Atlantic near Regency. Cycles of Jacksonville.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
Googan Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1-1, sixth inning. Baltimore trying to stay alive. Camden Yards, Kansas City. What a year. Now, big numbers guy. Zach Greinke retired at the end of the year. I guess unofficially. I don't think he ever announced it. But he was like 30 strikeouts away from 3,000, which used to be the automatic admission to the Hall of Fame. Right now, there are only 2 players that I'm aware of with more than 3,000 career strikeouts who are eligible and are not in. Do you know who those 2 are, J.J. LaSelva?
I have no idea. Say that again? Who are eligible?
3,000 career strikeouts, yet not in the Hall of Fame.
Probably Roger Clemens.
Absolutely. The second made the awful decision to actually talk politics.
Kurt Schilling, of course. I was thinking of steroid guys, and I forgot that there's a political guy left out.
Out of all the way to keep guys out of the Hall of Fame, and all this Kurt Schilling talks politics, and they're like, screw that, man. We don't agree with his political views.
To me, that's the worst one.
I mean,
that's not in.
It's
inexcusable.
Man, I just...
And to assume that the rest of the guys in the Hall of Fame are on a certain side of the political spectrum is a bad assumption to make.
Man, you cannot talk. You mentioned politics, you lose half your audience because that's where we are. But can you imagine being kept out of the Hall of Fame?
Sad.
Because of what he has said politically. It should have no bearing at all. It's what he did on the baseball fan. We are checking in with J.J. LaSelva, who I must say, I have heard now from several different places and sources, including one that I discovered myself in a women's bathroom Saturday night, written on lipstick on a bathroom wall, that I've lost you as a producer.
You've lost the locker room.
I've lost you as a producer. You're just going through the motions.
I don't really... I'm not going to call the guy a liar because he said he talked to a couple people in the locker room. But to say a team, he's lost the entire locker room is a lot different than just some guys. Like, there's a bunch of dudes on this team. I think it would be crazy to say that he hasn't lost some people. Like, of course he has. They're 0-4. I'm sure there's some guys thinking, hey, this is it. In one ear, out the other. With this rah-rah thing. I also think that's why Doug said last week, we're done with the rah-rah. No more speeches. That's over with. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, to act like the entire team is done by week 5, I find that incredibly hard to believe, especially because you said, so many local people that cover this team are in the locker room, and that's something that you would assume would be broken by the local media, or at least... Dude, where I work, I hear all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff. Come on. I haven't heard any inkling of something like that yet. Mm-hmm. Now, you lose to Indy, It doesn't matter if they lost the locker room or not. The season's completely a wash at that point.
0-4. There's only been one team in modern history in the Super Bowl era who's come back and made it to the playoffs. That was the 1992 San Diego Chargers.
Before the 17 games.
I gotta believe that was a Dan Fouts-led team. I would think, Fouts was huge with Eric Coryell in the 70s, but I want to say it extended through the 1982 season. I could end up being wrong. I don't even have...
It was actually Stan Humphries.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Dan Fouts was out, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Dan Fouts, to me, is probably quarterback number 4 or 5. What is so different from baseball and other sports is the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL all won Super Bowls outside of Dan Marino, who's the most obvious, right? Dan Marino, Warren Moon, Fran Tarkington, who lost 4, Jim Kelly, who lost 4, and for me, Dan Fouts. I mean, that was a different brand of football with Eric Coryell when he had Kellen Winslow and John Jefferson and, who was on the other side? Charlie Joyner, Chuck Muncie in the backfield. I mean, again, just such a great era of football. That was an era where it was more of the running of the ball, right? Earl Campbell and Tony Dorsett and Zonka and the late Mercury Morris and everyone. O.J. Simpson. He had all these phenomenal backs. Billy Sims. But Eric Coryell began to toss it all around the yard. I'm intrigued by the story. The most obvious one would be the two that we heard from. Okay? Listen, teams win, teams lose. Doug Peterson's a player's coach. The biggest issue is one that has been talked about time and again and time and again. If there is really a belief in that locker room, okay, that Doug Peterson is a far better play caller than Press Taylor. And Trevor Lawrence is like, listen, I want you calling plays, and they're not, then that becomes the most obvious dissension, and that is where this thing could really rip apart. But I'm trying to figure out where else some of this stuff could apply to. I mean, I'm really shocked that Eric Armstead is not playing inside. That is, he finally had 41 snaps. He had been under 40% of the overall team snaps in the first 3 games. I thought all along that he was going to be a guy that could do a couple of different things for you, but we were going to primarily see, Walker, Armstead, and then the combination of Hamilton, who hasn't played well, Mason Smith, who really played well. Don't look at the stat sheet for Mason Smith. Look at what he does, taking on blockers, other things that, a defensive tackle will not register on the overall stat sheet. And then Hines Allen on the other side. We haven't seen it. But I'm just trying to think of this isn't a team with personalities like that. There's not a Jared Odrick on this team. There's not a Chris Clemens on this team. You understand? There's not a Julius Thomas on this team. I'm trying to think, where is this coming from? This seems to be a cast of pretty good human beings. Everyone gets angry. No one wants to lose. Okay? I never witnessed that the way that I did the 8 years that I traveled with this team. This team lost all the time. Outside of 2017, late in the year, it's terrible to be with a losing team all the time. I mean, everything. You're looking over your shoulder, and things change. I remember walking through the old facility where they have the Gatorades and stuff, and I'd grab a Gatorade, during the Gus Bradley era. It was loose. They were losing, no big deal, right? Dave Caldwell's young, Gus Bradley's young. The moment they brought back Tom Coughlin, do you think for the life of me I would reach in one of those bins and grab a Gatorade? There's not a chance in the world. He had scared the living snot out of you. But what you had there was some guys who were dogs, who got pissed. Leonard Fournette wasn't going to listen to him. Jalen Ramsey wasn't going to listen to him. Telvin Smith wasn't going to listen to him. Aaron Colvin wasn't going to listen to him. Those guys were on, they didn't even listen to Calais Campbell. They thought he was old. I just don't see those type of personalities on this football team. I may be dead wrong. It may be a front when I'm in the building, but I also watch him practice, or I did during camp. I mean, you don't get a chance to watch him practice now. Everything is just a stretch, and then once they get into individual drills and team drills, it's closed. I just, that's my point, JJ. I can't even think of a guy or some guys. Maybe there are other guys on the beat that are like, Blue, you got this one wrong. It's A, B, and C. I'm missing A, B, and C.
Do you think it could be coaches? Like, I'm trying to remember if he said people in the locker room, I'll play it, or players.
I've talked to a few guys in that locker room over the last 2 weeks, not just the Texans game, but the last couple weeks, and they've told me that locker room is gone in regards to the head coach. So when I hear that, I hear, again, a team.
So he said guys. So, I mean, did he talk to just people who are on the staff?
I have no
it's
idea.
Hard to tell.
Right. It's an anonymous source or sources. I was in the locker room after they got blown out in Buffalo. And I didn't get any of that.
Right.
So, again, maybe things settled down a little bit. Maybe it was a phone call. Maybe it was a text from an agent who got it from before. I don't know. Again, I believe the report here. I just, how deep the report goes is what I find especially intriguing.
And the quote of losing the locker room is so vague. It just could mean so much.
All right. So let's say they win Sunday. Then they get on that plane. They go to the United Kingdom. They win games against winnable opponents. You trying to tell me they win 3 straight, they head back here? That locker room, if it's lost today, is that locker room lost in 3 weeks if they win 3 games?
Of course not.
Absolutely
it's
not.
Refound.
Absolutely
That's why it's
not.
so early in the season for that kind of talk. I find it hard to believe that there's professional football players out there who, after a fourth of their season, even less, are just like, all right, I'm done. Because nowadays, especially with, like everyone says, your tape is out there. It doesn't matter if you're on an 0-16 team. Everyone in the league is watching you. So I just find it hard to believe that after 4 weeks that the locker room has been lost.
I heard a report the other night. It was who was the long-haired guy in Philly?
Trevor Lowe.
Justin Taylor, Turner, the outfielder.
For the Phillies, yes. Turner.
Talk about the Papelbon fight with the
third baseman.
With Harper.
Yeah.
Remember when Harper didn't run out a ground ball or a fly ball?
And he choked him, right?
And yes, they went after one another in the dugout. And I was listening to him explain that in the month of August, if you're not playing winning baseball, the entire team hates one another. Okay?
Because you're just around the same people for 7 straight months. You suck. Justin Turner, by the way.
Justin Turner. I grew up in Boston in a great era where they didn't win the World Series. Okay? It was a great team. I mean, you had Hall of Famers on that team. Yaz, Rice, Fisk, other great players like Fred. And the expression in Boston was 25 players, 25 cab rides home. Yeah. It's like, you ever seen the Rolling Stones when they're done with the tour? All of them get in a different limo and bolt out of there because they're so sick and tired of one another because they've been around each other for so long. This is very common in sports. I think oftentimes fans are like, oh, my God, players don't get along. Players don't get along with managers and coaches. This happens all the time.
Think about your own job.
The greatest example of all time is Charlie Finley's bunch. Joe Rudy, Gene Tennis, Reggie Jackson, Bert Campaneris, Catfish Hunter, Vida Blue. They despised each other. They won 3 straight World Series in 72, 73, and then he had a fire sale. After they got knocked out in 75 by Boston, he sent them all packing. Raleigh Fingers. Big Blue, John Odom. Blue Moon Odom, sent them packing. this is common. All right, we need to take a break here. I'll tell you, tonight's show is brought to you by Thermal Engineers. There's no dissension there. Let me tell you something. They're an expanding family. They're growing. They don't have enough workers right now for the jobs that they have. That's how incredible things are for this HVAC contractor that has been serving North Florida for more than 20 years. They do it commercially speaking, okay? So, qualified technicians and installers at his top pay, 401k, full benefits sound, and a signing bonus. Go to Thermal Engineers, Inc. If you're not getting 40 hours a week, you're going to get it at Thermal Engineers. If you want overtime, weekends, you're going to get it at Thermal Engineers, Inc. If you're sideways now, if you're not getting from your company, HVAC related, the promotions, you just feel like you're treading water and it's time for you to really rise, folks, check it out. Go to Thermal Engineers, Inc. They're giving you top pay. They're giving you benefits. They're giving you 401k. They're giving you a signing bonus. How could you not check out to see what the signing bonus is? Just go to Thermal Engineers, Inc. It's an equal opportunity employer. Thermal Engineers, Inc. Much more to do. The best way for you to join us is 641-1010. That is the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
16 years serving great craft beer in Jacksonville is saying something, and that's worth a round of applause. And Bold City Brewery is celebrating. Duval's oldest brewery is set up for a big party October 12th, and you don't want to miss it. Live music all day, great food, giveaways, and growlers galore. In fact, Bold City Brewery will be giving away free pints, and someone's going to win free growler fills for a year. It's all at Bold City Brewery, Roselle Street in Riverside. Check out all the details at boldcitybrewery.com.
Homeowners, listen up. The Fed has taken action, lowering rates for the first time in years, and Loan Pronto has followed suit by lowering mortgage rates big time. Prosser here. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.59% APR, the lowest in 2 years. Whether you got your loan last month or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto and dump that high-rate loan. You can lock in a lower rate fast with virtually no paperwork and usually no appraisal. There's no limit on how many times you can refi, so get started. Even if you're in process with another lender, give Loan Pronto a call. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Purchase loans available as well, so call now. Get your rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLSconsumeraccess.org.
If you're looking for the best in indoor air quality, I've got the experts to call. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jaguars, specializing in the best air quality for your home or work with the Remy Halo. Instead of waiting for pollutants to travel through the ductwork to be neutralized, the Halo cell releases friendly oxidizers every time your fan blows air, helping those in your home that suffer from allergies and other respiratory issues. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and start enjoying cool comfort and clean air.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 2nd, 1986, New York Mets Dwight Gooden becomes the first pitcher to collect 200 strikeouts in each of his first 3 seasons in the MLB.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers, they take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia. AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care.
This right here is as good as it gets. This is life getting lived without obligations or complications. This is filling your cup and savoring the moment. This is the gift of presence, served to you in a place where there's room for everyone and enough to go around. And the best part, it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Ackerman Cancer Center offers women's health, diagnostic, and screening services, including contract-enhanced mammography and total body MRI. Early detection is the key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
This is Dr. James Perry, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
After Anthony Richardson left last Sunday's game with an injury, veteran quarterback Joe Flacco came in to win the game for the Colts. The Jaguars will be tasked with preparing for the contrasting playing styles of the two quarterbacks. Here's Doug Peterson on the challenge of game planning for two quarterbacks with very different playing styles.
Kind of know both guys. You know, we saw Anthony Richardson, last year, obviously, first game, and we know how talented he is. We've seen already his ability to throw the football, this year. Flacco, we know from last year being in Cleveland what he can do, as well throwing the football. I mean, it's a challenge either way, and you just got to trust your game plan.
I'm Max Fink here with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we do tonight till 8 o'clock. John Oesher next hour, and then we'll head to Vegas, check the money with Raphael Esparza. Tomorrow night, 6 to 8. That'll include Tim Brando. And then Friday on the AM only, 4 to 6 with high school football. So that is the way we're going to do it. 1575 says, Ballou, the report came from Bulky. I'm not a fan of Trent Baalke. I would have fired him 2 years ago. I do not believe that. I don't. And I believe that he is a professional. I don't like a lot of things that he does. It just feels toxic around him. And I wish that he was transparent. I wish he spoke to us. Dave Caldwell spoke to us. Gene Smith did not. Shaq Harris did.
Like off the record or on the record?
He does an off the record here and there, Trent Baalke. But I know John Shipley tried to reach out to him this week. I mean, you're 0-4. I think you should be talking about what's going on. I don't believe that. I do not.
Although we never really got the full story. Maybe we never will. The Mason Smith benching, and there was rumors online of like, was this a Doug Peterson trying to like stick it to Baalke by doing that because it's one of Baalke's guys? Like,
there's a lot of examples. Armstead's not playing inside.
Right.
I mean, I'd love to know what Baalke thinks about the fact that they kept Tank Peterson in and ran him the ball on 1st and 2nd and goal after going 58 yards and getting blown out and did a somersault. I mean, the guy needs a blow. I don't care what you know about football, what you don't know about football. Everyone knows that in a case like that, let him go to the sideline and catch his wind. You've got a compliment. You've got what many believe is a better back in ETN. I mean, that you talk about an egregious mistake. Not once, but twice. I mean, the second time they gave it to him, I was like, you have got to be freaking kidding me. He just raced down the side. You made maybe the call of the game, a draw on 3rd and 3. And you picked up a first down. You went 58 yards to the 2. My God, what are you doing handing him the football? Not once, but I mean, the guy's exhausted. Be smart. So, yeah, there's a lot of examples where I could see that he is upset. But I don't think he would. No, that is below anyone. But, I've heard stuff like that before with him. Going back to San Francisco. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's rubbish. I do know this. I got to take a break because I'm way, way, way over the line. And I want to bring in John Oesher. He'll join us next.
He's our pathfinder through the weeds of quarterback chaos.
I'm Denny Thompson, and they call me the quarterback whisperer.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drip. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
This election, if you want someone who will take care of the messes, someone who isn't afraid to get dirty and work in the trenches, someone who will pump out the problems and prevent future ones, vote for the Duck.
Need your septic tank serviced? Call DuckDuckRooter, your 5-star Google-rated septic company. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com.
I approve this message.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what WindoWorld wants you to do. WindoWorld knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to WindoWorld, they can't offer you the quality at the price that WindoWorld can.
And with WindoWorld, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new WindoWorld windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, WindoWorld and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with WindoWorld, and to top it off, WindoWorld windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with WindoWorld. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call WindowWorld today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
WindoWorld, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
WindoWorld also offers energy-efficient doors.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Jacksonville, are you ready? The college basketball season is tipping off with an epic in-state showdown. The Florida Gators and South Florida Bulls go head-to-head in the Jacksonville Sports Foundation Invitational. Be there Monday, November 4th at Veterans Memorial Arena and witness this in-state rivalry live. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. It's Florida versus South Florida to start the college basketball season on November 4th in Jacksonville. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
This is David Lane. After suffering through several painful injuries to my shoulder, back, and knees, I've taken my issues to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and without fail, they've been a tremendous help towards solving my problems. If you have any orthopedic situations, don't procrastinate. Take action today. Give those aches and pains to the pros at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. You'll be glad you did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, Scarline here. If you're like me in the fall, you want to watch football, not clean. Enter Molly Maid, voted Bold City Best Cleaning Service 3 years in a row. Molly Maid is reliable, friendly, and thorough. Visit mollymaid.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you spend a lot of time talking about diamonds, but what about some of the colored stones we see?
Frank, when you talk about colored stones, there are literally hundreds of varieties and species in the gem kingdom. As certified gemologists, we're trained gemologically on the identification of each of these and can separate the man-made synthetics and imitations from the real thing. But at Underwoods, we can go to the next step. At Underwoods, we're active buyers of loose colored stones in the world markets, so we have an understanding of the values of colored stones as they relate back to the various qualities. In fact, just like diamonds, we buy most of our colored stones loose, then create the pieces of jewelry to hold the gems. You can be assured not only of the authenticity and quality of our colored stone jewelry, but also of the value. So if you're in the market for a fine quality emerald, sapphire, ruby, aquamarine, amethyst, citrine, tourmaline, peridot, or any other gemstone, come by and see us at Underwoods.
The coolers are full at your local Gate gas station, making it easy for you to cruise in and cruise out with little downtime. Ice cold Coronas, Natty Light, Stella Artois, and Michelob Ultra. Don't forget the king of beers, Cold Buds. Gate's got them in the cooler, waiting for you.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, low-scoring games in the American League. 2-1 Kansas City over Baltimore, bottom of the 7th in Camden Yards. The Orioles have to win to keep this series alive. Let's bring in our good friend John Oesher. He is the senior writer at Jaguars.com. Hello, John.
Rick, how are you, buddy?
You realize we have the start of the National Hockey League next week? They took their 2 weeks off. They're back at it next week.
Yeah, it does feel like we were just talking about the finals, right? But that's
yeah.
It's probably the shortest off season, right, of any of the sports.
I think it is. Yeah, even more shorter than baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. So let's talk hockey, Rick. Let's spend 15 minutes talking hockey. I'm up.
Yeah. It's boy, this team needs a win, John. I mean, for everyone involved, it's just starting to spin out of control. But I look at Indy and they're beaten up, and you know Indy well. You covered them when you left here, and then you came back, much like I did with Chicago. You win this, and then all of a sudden it's New England and the Bears. I mean, you do have 3 winnable games there in front of this football team.
Yeah, it should be. The only problem is they've had games. 3 of their 4 so far have been very winnable, especially 2 of them. They've had every opportunity to close Miami and Houston.
Right.
I'm not going to say they should have beaten Houston because Houston probably feels like, hey, we won a game that we should have won, right? But, in the NFL, there are games that you look back on and say, we had every chance. And they had every chance to beat the Texans. They probably got outplayed the first half, but you have a 3-point lead with multiple chances to go up 10, and you don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that absolutely qualifies as a game you gave away. You're on the 4-yard line, a chance to go up 10 in the fourth quarter. You're supposed to close that game out, and they didn't. So I guess the point I'm making is, they've been in position to win games, and right now they're a team that loses games.
Yeah.
So it's so frustrating trying to analyze the team because you sit here and say they are capable of winning these games. And yet in the NFL, they're all games that you're capable of winning. You have to win games to be good. And they're just not doing that. Somehow unlock that puzzle and you're okay, but it's a hard puzzle for this team right now.
I had them going 1-3. I had them knocking off Cleveland. I had them losing to Miami. I had them losing to Buffalo. I had them losing to Houston. I guess the problem becomes they could have won 3 of those 4, and they didn't. So the expectations, I guess, change based on what you see, yet when you complete the 60 minutes, they weren't able to get it done.
Yeah, and that's really why, I was going to talk about the Jags a lot and write about the Jags a lot. And it's gotten to a point where I don't want to say this because my job is to talk and write about the Jags. I don't know what else to say along these lines because it's so repetitive in a way of they just have to make the plays at the moment. I believe the players are there to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe against the Texans, you can't tell me that they play called their way out of the Texans game when you had 1st and goal on the 4, couldn't get it in.
Yeah.
When you had multiple passes that didn't get completed and you had a ball that could have been caught in the end zone by Gabe Davis, not caught. I don't know where play calling fixes those things. So all these things that we're picking apart, all these issues are great, but if you don't play big in those moments, it doesn't matter in this league, and they've got to figure out a way to do that. That's terrible sports talk radio because it's the same thing we've been saying. But I'm not sure how else to frame it with this team because now you've lost 9 of 10, and usually that's been the theme. I don't know how you fix it except to go do it.
Yeah. Don't worry about it being bad sports talk radio. This show is awful, according to everyone who does listen to it. John Oesher is our guest.
I don't listen, and I can tell you that.
John Oesher is our guest, senior writer, Jaguars.com. I wouldn't have given the ball to Tank after that long play, two in a row. But nonetheless, Trevor he's struggling. And, last year the thought was he's injured. He had 5 different injuries. I mean, he misses Thomas on a touchdown. He misses Kirk on a touchdown. Yeah, Gabe does drop a touchdown, but he missed him on another 3rd down play. And that, to me, is the biggest concern with this football team. Why has Trevor Lawrence regressed the way that he has?
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I always hesitate to try to psychoanalyze people because I'm not inside their head. So I'm assuming, it makes sense that he would be pressing a little bit with all the expectations. And as that gets, as you don't win and people are looking at you, you press a little more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's logical. I can't say that that's what it is. I don't think he's a quarterback who routinely misses big throws because I've seen him hit big throws. He missed a couple the other day. But I think it's short-sighted to say that that's what he is because he's made big throws in the past. He's quarterbacked winning teams in the past, 9-8, 9-8 the last 2 years. So you can win with this guy. You just almost want to say, just settle down, bro, and make the throws. He can make that throw to Kirk. He's made it. But he's just like the rest of the team in those big moments, it hasn't clicked. You know, Bucky Brooks on the Huddle Up podcast today says, you know, sometimes it's a slump. You're not hitting them. That happens. So I don't think it's regression. I don't think you can say all of a sudden he can't play, because I think he was progressing for 16 games before he got hurt last year.
Yeah.
You just got to find a way to get that back. And, you know, what I want to be able to tell people here is that I know the answer. But if I knew the answer, everybody would know the answer, and it would be happening.
Yeah.
It's the storyline until it's not, and I wish I had a better answer.
Let's wrap it up with some health. Is this the week that Evan Ingram and Darnell Savage return?
I think it's the week where Savage returns. With Ingram, I know he absolutely wants to go. It might be a week where they need to protect him from himself for another week with the hammy, just because you don't want to play with that and have it set you back another 3 or 4 weeks. I think there's a chance both play. Evan, it feels like the book is still, you know, the question is yet to be answered on how he can get back. You got to be careful with that, and I'm not sure we'll know till Sunday.
Yeah, the concussion protocol, who knows for Josh Hines-Allen? I think we're just going to have to wait and see. Because
the concussion thing, Rick, is like, I get asked about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost senseless to try to predict it.
Exactly.
Because if he's cleared, he goes. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Sort of like with Trevor last year for that week. Talk about it all you want. If he's cleared, he'll go. If not, he won't.
Hey, Ventrell Miller had a heck of a game. And Devin Lloyd, you know, was a game-time decision. He couldn't go with the knee. He didn't practice today. Is this we know Foyer's out. Is this another week of Ventrell Miller and Chad Muma?
Oh, I think with Ventrell Miller, you almost get a feeling there may be Wally Pitts somewhere. I mean, I don't know. When a kid plays like that, with that kind of energy, some guys you just watch, Rick, and you watch a lot of college football over the years. Sometimes the guy who was a third-teamer gets in the lineup, and the coaches go, "Oh, we can't not play that guy."
Yeah.
I mean, so he just feels like a football player, right? Like, it doesn't matter what the size, speed, whatever is. I'm not saying he doesn't have those things, but you just get out there and you can play. And I don't know how you keep a guy who can play that naturally with that kind of love and effectiveness out of the game. So whoever it is, I wouldn't be surprised if Ventrell Miller's in the lineup for good.
Yeah, I loved watching him play at Florida, and you know the biggest question with him is he's got to stay healthy, and you hate it because he is a guy that he is a good football player. That's probably the best way to describe him. Make sure you read everything.
And
go ahead.
To leave you with a team right now that needs guys who make plays, which is what we've been talking about for 2.5 months with this team. Hard to pull out a guy who makes plays, and that's what Ventrell Miller is.
Make sure you read John Oesher. Just go to Jaguars.com. Get everything from him and his staff. Of course, John is the senior writer. Thank you, John.
Rick, thanks.
There he goes. John Oesher, good stuff. Yeah, you know, the two local kids who were drafted, Jarian Jones, who's got a shoulder, and he was limited today, and Ventrell Miller. I mean, I even battled some Gator fans on this. They're like, he's too slow. He's always injured. He's undersized. I'm like, I don't care. You know, just because I'm a Florida State grad, I say it all the time. All right? I watch every Florida game. I watch every Miami game. And for the most part, I watch every Georgia game unless it's a cupcake, right? Maybe an early season cupcake. But once they get into the thick of it, and I certainly watch them against Clemson, but once they get into the SEC, I watch the Dogs play. I don't have to. You know, there's not a blueprint on how to do this job that includes, well, I do it for my own personal satisfaction. I like to know what I'm talking about if something comes up within the football team. When you look at last year's Florida State team, you're going to mention 6 or 7 defensive players until you get to Jarian Jones. That kid made plays. He's a good football player. Ventrell Miller was higher regarded, When you started mentioning defensive players at Florida, Ventrell Miller would be among the first or second, maybe third guy mentioned over the last couple of years, especially when healthy. But I loved him. I love the other linebacker they used to have there too, Bernie. I thought he made plays, certainly undersized. But Ventrell Miller, man, this is a positive side of that. All right, when we come back, I'll give you the very latest as far as injuries. And I do want to turn our attention to some college football here just for a couple of minutes. It was Yahoo. They did a nice presentation today on their thoughts on the 12-teamer. And this is great. I mean, this is phenomenal. This is what we've wanted for so very long, and we have it. I mean, teams who lost this weekend are still in it. That includes Georgia. Obviously, they're in it. It includes Mississippi. They're still in it. So we'll talk about that as well. Give you a couple of moments if you want to join us. I'll tell you right now, at the Blue Crab House, dollar oysters till 9:30 tonight on this Wednesday. Dollar oysters right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. It is the one. It is the only. It is the Blue Crab House.
Get the coach's perspective.
Constant improvement, every day, every week.
Doug Peterson joins the Frangie Show Fridays at 4:05.
This group is eager to win.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
The coolers are full at your local gate gas station, making it easy for you to cruise in and cruise out with little downtime. Ice cold Coronas, Natty Light, Stella Artois, and Michelob Ultra. And don't forget the king of beers, Cold Buds. Gates got them in the cooler, waiting for you.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
Everything about the game has changed, except for the most important thing. What you have inside. It is what drives the game. It refuses to be ignored. It sweats everything, turns an athlete into a legend. Gatorade, is it in you?
From Gatorade Zero to Gatorade Endurance Formula and Gator Light, there's something for every athlete. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Gatorade, official partner of the NFL.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 2nd, 1986, New York Mets Dwight Gooden becomes the first pitcher to collect 200 strikeouts in each of his first 3 seasons in the MLB.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJax.com.
Hey, David again with Royal Pest Services. TAP Insulation stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Keep your home cool, noise out, and pests dead. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free inspection.
What a week of football and betting it was last week. Mia here, and if you haven't bet with MyBookie yet, they are still running that double deposit bonus. Just sign up with promo code 1010XL. Another huge week of college and NFL games on tap, and it begins on Thursday. Get signed up now for a little Sun Belt, Fun Belt college matchup. Texas State, a 2-touchdown favorite, headed to Troy. This is the Fun Belt, though, so we will take the over 58 points on that total. For Thursday night in the NFL, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to Atlanta, where they open as 2.5-point underdogs to the Falcons? I take a long, hard look at betting the Bucks with the points and parlay that over 43.5 on the total. For a limited time, MyBookie still has the double deposit bonus. Use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to double your money. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to bring your friends out and enjoy our spectacular golf course, which is carved out of some of the highest elevations in North Florida. Hidden Hills Golf Club, unlike any other. Check us out, hiddenhillsgc.com.
Mia here. The name to remember this hurricane season is Jags Roofing. Your neighbors have relied on Mike for 25 years to repair or replace their roofs. When you call Jags Roofing, you only talk to Mike. No expensive salespeople. You always get the best price for your project. For the lowest insurance rates, a free wind mitigation report is always given with your roof replacement. Jags Roofing wishes you a safe hurricane season. And if needed, Mike is here to help. Call today for a free estimate or go online at projacksroofingfl.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Don McClain, 79 today. Starry night. Guy wrote about Van Gogh, for crying out loud. A jilted lover. Oh, my goodness, man. I love old classic rock, but I just can't do it anymore. Bye-bye. American Pie?
Correct.
Just can't do it anymore, man.
One of the most overplayed songs in the history of song.
I mean, it was so good for so long, but there really is. There's probably a list of like 100 songs I just cannot listen to anymore. Yep, just can't do it.
Is
Bye-bye American Pie. That's one of them.
I know it.
No. Whenever I see this, I run for a beer. I love checking my social media, and there's like some 25-year-old who's single, who's just like reaching out to me. I'm sure they reach out to all dudes, but it's like some old man in a basement. Unbelievable how that happens. Right in the middle of the show. It's very, very distracting when that stuff happens. All right, the latest injury report is out. And, for Jacksonville, it feels as though they're getting better. 2 DNPs today. The concussion for Josh Hines, we have no idea. Devin Lloyd, the knee. All right, then limited today. Yasir Abdul with the neck. Tank Bigsby, the shoulder. Gabe Davis, the shoulder. Evan Ingram, the hamstring. Let's talk with John Oesher about it. Probably a week away. Travis Etienne, a shoulder. Jarian Jones, a shoulder. Darnell Savage, the quad. Could be returning this week, and hopefully they play him at safety. That would be best case scenario, in my opinion, for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, Indianapolis. They had 3, 4, 5. They had 7 players today who did not practice. Okay, Anthony Richardson did. He was limited with an oblique. The great linebacker, Zaire Franklin, didn't practice. Also defensively, Kwity Paye on the edge, a quadricep, didn't work. Kenny Moore, a hip, one of their corners, did not practice. A backup linebacker and Grant Stewart did not practice today as well with a heel. Offensively, a couple of guys in the offensive line. Ryan Kelly, their starting center, a neck, didn't practice. Braden Smith, starting tackle, Braden Smith, a knee, did not practice. Jonathan Taylor, obviously the very talented running back, he did not go today as well with an ankle. So Indianapolis is absolutely beaten up. Again, 7 players did not practice, 6 of which are starters. The only one we did, Braden Smith, by the way, is a right tackle. All right. And the only one we did not mention, actually, we mentioned them all, but the only one who's not a starter there is, again, Grant Stewart. So there you go. Indianapolis is beaten up. Hey, let me give you this, because I think this is what is really kind of cool about where we are now in college football. Yahoo broke it down, and this is their projections. You know, Alabama is the overall number 1 seed, and that should be obviously where they're at this particular point after getting the huge victory over Georgia on Saturday. Number 2 seed, Ohio State. Hey, you've heard so much about the 17-year-old freshman, Ryan Williams. How about the true freshman at Ohio State and Jeremiah Smith? Another very talented wide receiver. Miami comes in at number 3. All right, they had a scare, no doubt about it, but they survived it. And even if they didn't, I don't think it would matter. I think the ACC has a chance at large, but obviously it's going to come down to the winner of that Miami-Clemson game, at least you would assume so, in the conference championship. There are other teams that will have a say, like Duke, but I think that what Miami does here is if they do lose, there's a difference between being 11-1 and 12-0 going into that conference championship game. So the victory against Va Tech is huge for that particular way of looking at it. Iowa State is the 4 seed. Who had that? Utah lost at home to Arizona. If you didn't watch that game, that was, you know, with Georgia losing and Mississippi losing, those are the 2 big upsets, right? Utah. And it wasn't even a huge upset. It was basically a pick-em by game time. I certainly had Georgia. I thought Georgia would win by 7 to 10 points. And I thought Mississippi would win against Kentucky, especially in the Grove. They did not. But the Utah loss at home to Arizona was one that I did not see. So now it's Iowa State in at number 4. Remember, the top 4 conference champions get a bye. The 5th conference champion does not get a bye, and just because of the 5th conference champion doesn't mean that you have to rank them at number 5. They can be ranked as low as 12, and that's what they have here with Boise State in a first-round matchup. It's Boise State, who is obviously part of the Mountain West, and in the first round, they would take on the first at-large team. That is Texas, with a record of 5-0. So there's your 12-5. And, you know, Texas could be better equipped than anyone because they're playing 2 quarterbacks. Michigan has played 2 quarterbacks. They benched their starter. But Quinn Ewers is a guy that you got to go back to, right? But Arch Manning is getting valuable experience if something does happen later in the year. And that comes into play. Quarterbacks get hurt. Look what happened to Florida State last year with Jordan Travis. Number 11, Michigan at 4-1. Or excuse me, they're the 11 seed with a record of 4-1. Michigan would travel to Neyland Stadium and take on Tennessee as a 6 seed. Your 10-7 matchup would be in Athens between the Hedges. That is the Georgia Bulldogs playing host to Missouri. Missouri coming off of a bye last weekend. They are still 4-0 on the year. And your final matchup would be at Oregon. 4-0 Oregon against 4-0 Penn State. Let's see if they do play during the regular season. I know that Oregon certainly has Ohio State. I want to say Oregon has Michigan as well, but let's look up and see if they play Penn State. So if you look at the large teams now, there are 7 spots, right? The 5 conference champions, top 4 conference champions, obviously do get the bye. You've got 4 teams from the SEC, and you have 3 teams from the Big Ten. The way it reads right now, if you are in the Atlantic Coast Conference or you are in the Big 12, you're not bringing an at-large with you. They're all coming from the 2 heavies, and I don't have a problem with that. I just don't. I mean, we should put together the best overall teams that are there in college football. It's as simple as that. Now, others are going to yell, and obviously this is a very premature prognostication with so much football remaining. They do not have Penn State.
No, Oregon has a really tough schedule.
Yeah,
but
they
Penn
do.
State really only has Ohio State and Washington at home. Now, Oregon still has to play Ohio State. By the way, October 12th, that slate of games is going to be absolutely sick.
It's insane.
Yeah, so they get Ohio State at home, but then a couple weeks later they travel to the Big House and play Michigan on the road. I expect them to destroy Michigan. This Michigan, they can't throw the ball, man. Like I couldn't even imagine how they're going to be able to compete with Oregon. They're 10 right now, but I would expect Michigan by the end of the year to be like out of the top 25 even. They have really unimpressed me.
I know we got a ton of Iowa State fans out there listening, so let's take a look at their schedule because they're projected right now to be number 4 to win the Big 12.
That was always my issue with these buys is like we're going to give a team with 3 or 4 losses out of the Big 12 or the ACC, maybe even a bye.
And it's a fair argument. I mean, forever in the NFL, they've been saying if you win the AFC South with a record of 9-8, should you get home field advantage when you have teams in other divisions that end up going 11-6? You've heard about it forever in the NFL. I think it's fair here. All right, let's give it the eye test. Okay, Baylor this weekend at West Virginia. Central Florida. Boy, Central Florida got smoked by Colorado. I thought Central Florida was going to be able to give the Gators all they want on Saturday. They may still, but I think this game becomes even more intriguing. The Gators coming off the bye, UCF licking their wounds after Colorado just pounded them. Texas Tech, you know what? Texas Tech will score with anyone. They'll also give up a boatload of points. At Kansas, arguably the biggest disappointment probably in all of the Midwest this year. I mean, Kansas, there was talk of a Heisman Trophy. There was talk of a top 25 team. They have struggled. Cincinnati, then they wrap up the year going to number 18, Utah, and they host number 20, Kansas State. That's a formidable schedule, but it doesn't register here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not like going to Tennessee and South Carolina
or even
Georgia.
Arkansas.
Right, or any team in the SEC West. And I understand the divisions are broken now in all of these conferences, and you can't go East and West anymore. But I find it hard to believe that with Baylor, West Virginia, Central Florida, Texas Tech, Kansas, Cincinnati, Utah, and Kansas State, that Iowa State's going to run that table.
No, I think Utah's still in it. Even though they look terrible. They'll get Cam Rising back maybe eventually. And that conference just doesn't deserve a bye. Neither does the ACC. But here we are, at least for, 2 seasons.
The Canes at Cal. That game's going to be at 10:30 Eastern.
A lot going against
night.
the Canes. Cal has a week off, a bye week going into this game. Like you said, it's a 10:30 Eastern kickoff.
I love it.
Miami has to travel across the country. Game days there. Like every, what do you call those things that, going into a game, not necessarily on-field things, they all are going against Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the one thing, and tangibles. Well, the one thing that does go for Miami is last week's game. I mean,
it was a wake-up call.
Exactly. I cannot see them having such a slow start. Well, it wasn't even that slow of a start. I mean, they should have been up 21-7, but I expect them to take Cal seriously.
How healthy are they?
That.
Because
they lost a ton
I know,
on the
that's
D-line
what I was saying.
last game. So
but a lot of them looked like it was it cramping?
Exactly. I think most of them will be back, including Bain, who has only played 3 plays this season in the Florida game and got taken out. If you don't remember Ruben Bain, this guy was like the best defensive player in the entire conference last year, one of the best players in the nation as a true freshman. So I expect him to come in and just dominate Cal up front. I hope he's healthy, but he will be back.
Consecutive road games at Cal, at Louisville. Louisville played with Notre Dame last week, lost by a touchdown.
That's the one.
Yep.
I think Miami definitely loses to Louisville, but I think they'll squeak out a win this week.
You could always make the case that you go to Louisville and you're looking ahead at Florida State. That's not the case right now. Florida State's 1-4. They're going to get blown out by Clemson. It's still a rivalry game, so it's going to mean everything to Miami, but I don't think it's a look ahead. There's different ways to look ahead. You can look ahead and be worried. All your attention's on Florida State because you think they could beat you. There's the look ahead where, can't wait to face them at home because you think you're going to mop them. Yeah. But Louisville becomes scary. Duke's undefeated.
Manny Diaz.
They came from behind, knocked off North Carolina the other night.
I was just about to say
most
they were down
points ever.
3 touchdowns, I think.
I think it was the most points Duke has ever scored, come from behind in the fourth quarter. Florida State's never lost to Duke.
That might happen.
It's the only team in the ACC. They get them on a Friday night.
I like the quarterback. They have that transfer from Texas last year who, when Ewers went down, he had to play a couple games. Oh, my gosh. Malik Murphy, maybe. But he's fun. And Manny Diaz is a pretty damn good coach. So
it is Malik Murphy.
Yeah, that kid can play. So I would watch out for if I'm Florida State. And
he's a Florida State grad.
They got 3 wins maybe on that schedule left.
Manny played no football.
Hard end of the season.
He didn't play football at Florida State.
Right.
He was a fraternity brother of my brother, and I say it all the time. I mean, I spent 2 years working with Manny Diaz when he was in the Florida State media. He wrote for something called FS View, and then he got an internship at ESPN, and Bowden put him on as a grad assistant. And when Chuck Amato took the job at North Carolina State, he brought Manny Diaz with him as the linebacker coach.
I had no idea that's how it started.
He worked his you-know-what off.
Right.
I think a lot of people just assume he's a former player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 95% of the coaches are former players.
Of course.
Right? Not the case for Diaz. Then you go to Georgia Tech, which you just never know. With Tech, Wake Forest is terrible, and then at Syracuse. So it's a very, very formidable schedule. I mean, Miami, if they play their football, is going to be 12-0.
Yeah.
And then you set it up against Clemson for the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship game.
I just can't see them being unbeaten. I just don't see. I think they'll lose at least to Louisville and maybe to some other team. They're not as good as everyone was hyping them up to be before this Virginia Tech game.
Raphael Esparza joins us next. Let's go live to Las Vegas.
If you're on the prowl for exclusive updates and insight, get your fill on Jaguars Today.
I like it.
With Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony, 10 to noon weekdays.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at
1010XL.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Northwest Florida's largest RV show is coming to the Jacksonville Equestrian Center. It's the Jacksonville Fall RV Show, Thursday through Sunday, October 3rd through 6th, with hundreds of RVs on display, lifestyle booths, plus register to win a $250 gift card each day. Adults $10, kids under 12 free. Seniors save half off Thursday. First responders, military, active, and retired get half off every day. We'll see you at the Jacksonville Fall RV Show.
Firehouse Subs is turning 30. Celebrate with them on Tuesday, October 8th from 5 to 6 p.m. at the Mandarin location. Meet Jackson DeVille, your favorite Jags players, and the cheerleaders. Join the fun at Firehouse Subs, 9825 San Jose Boulevard in Mandarin.
Everyone needs hope, but hope doesn't win cases. Weekends, long hours, resolve, hard work. That's what can win cases. Hope doesn't roll up its sleeves to help secure your future, but we do. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Sports talk sometimes gets confusing. I'm Hayes Carlyon, here to clean up the confusion. Join me afternoons on The Frangie Show for Cleaning Up with Hayes, brought to you by Molly Maid on 1010XL.
Are you an experienced plumber or welder with MedGas certification and you're tired of being undervalued? It's time to make the move to Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. With the best pay in the business, you'll earn $36.50 an hour. With benefits, that's almost $50. It's not just a job, it's a career that values you. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Prosser here. I've been telling you for years about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us. Imagine watching your favorite team in your new Lifetime Man Cave, family hangout, or Lifetime's version of a she shed. And now Lifetime is expanding their replacement window division. Make your home energy efficient with their Energy Star rated windows. Enclosures, flooring, and windows to fit any and all budgets. Visit the showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let Lifetime be your home team.
Hello there, Brendan from Play It Again Sports here to congratulate all the parents for surviving another summer. The kiddos are back to school, and you know what that means? Sports are back. But don't fret, Play It Again Sports has the gear you need at prices worthy of excessive celebration. From sluggers and shooters to clappers and benders, Play It Again Sports can turn your kids into goats. Stop in today on Merrill Road near 295 or online at playitagainjacks.com.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting. David Ammon here with Zero Res. Ammon, I can't believe it's been 20 years since we started Zero Res. Do you remember? You were only 7 years old and we had you cleaning the vans after school.
Yeah, I'm grateful I've always had a job that taught me to work hard, take care of things, and to appreciate our good customers.
October is birthday month for Zero Res, so what are we doing for our customers?
Just say happy birthday Zero Res and we'll give you $50 off. That's $50 off carpet, tile and grout, upholstery, or area rugs.
Zero Res.
Spelled Florida backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Hello. We can wiggle it.
Vegas, baby, Vegas! Raphael Esparza joins us live from MyBookie, mybookie.org. What's going on, Mr. Esparza?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Man, tons happening here in Jacksonville. Thank God it's October. September was absolutely awful for the Noles, the Gators, and especially the winless Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hopefully October will get you a W for your Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, hey, let's start with last night's debate. It was actually pretty civil. Did it move the numbers at all for the election, which is, 34 days away?
I can't. I am actually counting the days of 34 days before the circus is over. It moved them to pretty much a pickup. Now it's just minus 115 both ways. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens now for the 34 days. Does it stay a pick-em? Does someone take a small lead? I don't see a dominance where we're going to see a close to minus 150, minus 160 the week of the election.
So this could still move either way depending on what happens. I don't think we're going to have another debate. What do you believe? Is there going to be one?
I don't know. There's no way. I think the debates are over, especially after the civil one last night where Humpy, Joy was everyone. No finger pointing, no this, no that. I think yesterday's was the main reason why I don't think we'll see another one.
So what do you believe the couple of days before it, the weekend before, what do you think the final odds will be for the next president of the United States?
I'm saying I have a feeling Trump will probably be a small favorite, maybe minus 125, just because of him being a former president. I think his VP won last night. So I think he will end up the week of the election. He'll be a small favorite.
The Gators are taking on the University of Central Florida. That'll be a matchup Saturday in the Swamp. What's the latest there as far as the money?
It's all been Central Florida. I just don't think no one trusts Florida right now on their football program. And I think you're getting value. So you're trying to tell me a second-string Florida Gator is equal to a UCF starting player? I just think the athletes are a little bit better at Gainesville. I'm leaning towards taking the Gators. Even though I still think Napier's gone, they were probably more happy that Ole Miss lost last week because maybe Kiffin will come to Gainesville and be the head coach. If they lose this week to South Carolina, I think the Gator fans would be happy. So I think Florida wins this week.
All right, Clemson, a massive favorite, 2-touchdown plus, a quarterback change for the Florida State Seminoles. Where's the money gone so far this week on that game?
It's been all Clemson. I think the way their offense has been rolling the last couple of games, I think this game is going to go over the total. So even though Florida State struggles to put points on the board, I think this game goes over.
And let's wrap it up. Jaguars, their matchup here against the Colts. The Colts haven't been able to win here, and I think it's their last 6 tries coming to Duval.
Yeah, that's why I like Duval this one. The Colts always struggle in Jacksonville, so Jacksonville gets the big W. AEW has got short on their contract that was announced today, and the owner would be happy because Jacksonville would get a W on Sunday.
Give us the very latest. What's going on at MyBookie, mybookie.org.
You got college football starting tomorrow, but the baseball playoffs have started. Great games. I can't believe the Houston Astros are at home watching the rest of the playoffs. The puck drops on Friday. UFC's in Utah this weekend. It's a fun sports betting weekend.
Always a lot of fun to have you on. Thank you, as always, Raphael Esparza. We'll do it again next Thursday.
Take it easy. Have a great one.
Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, Jaguars got good news today, I believe, on the injury front. It's looking better and better for Darnell Savage to return. Probably a game-time decision for Evan Ingram. It could be announced on Friday, but the thinking is a week away with the hamstring. So, obviously, he'll travel to London, and hopefully he'll be ready for both matchups there against the Patriots and the Chicago Bears. The big deal is Devin Lloyd in the knee. He did not practice today. And the way that Ventrell Miller played last week, you want him in the lineup anyway. So that'll be interesting to watch. And as far as the concussion protocol, when it comes to Josh Hines-Allen, you just don't know. It's impossible to evaluate or even guess at all because every concussion is different. So that is the latest there. For what it's worth, the Colts are beaten up. They had 6 guys today, actually 7 backup, but 6 starters today who did not practice. Anthony Richardson did. He was limited with an oblique.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
All right, Hacker Nation is up. What's going on, young man?
Yeah, look, I know we talked about this a lot so far this week, but I continue to say it. I will take my chances with Anthony Richardson. I mean, if Joshua Hines-Allen doesn't play, and he's in the protocol, as you mentioned, the pass rush already wasn't very good. It will be even worse. And would you want Anthony Richardson back there or Joe Flacco back there? I mean, Flacco picked you apart last year when he was in Cleveland. Now, look, you got to worry about Anthony Richardson running the ball a heck of a lot more than Joe Flacco. I get that, but just a pure quarterback passing the ball, I almost think it's better if Richardson plays on Sunday.
Yeah, a lot of people believe that. I mean, especially what happened a year ago. We'll know, or we'll find out. I think by, probably tomorrow or Friday. I don't think it'll be one of those game time decisions. I think the announcement will be out there depending on how many snaps he takes the next couple of days.
And Wednesday, and for Jonathan Taylor, didn't practice today. I mean, and you know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Wednesday, all right, you don't practice. If you don't practice Thursday, that's kind of the big day. If you miss Wednesday and Thursday, then that kind of sends up red flags that you might not actually play on Sunday. So I'll be very interested to see how many of those 6 Colts starters actually get back on the field tomorrow.
What's coming up tonight?
Obviously, we're going to do a lot of NFL talk, a lot of college talk as well. We'll have Leon Searcy. He's going to join us coming up in less than 20 minutes. We will go to Indianapolis. My guy James Boyd of The Athletic, covering the Indianapolis Colts, will join us. And Chad Forbes. Always love having Chad on. He likes to mix it up a little bit. We'll have Chad on in the early 9 o'clock hour.
All right. Have a great show.
Thanks, Rick.
That's coming up right now. That is Hacker Nation right here on both 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, tomorrow night, Tim Brando among our guests. The very latest from the Jaguars as well, but we'll kick off the college football weekend with our conversation, our weekly conversation with Tim Brando. So it'll be 6 to 8 tomorrow night, and then on Friday, 4 to 6 on the AM only, because of high school football. Thank you to Raphael Esparza. Thank you to John Oesher. Thank you to JJ LaSelva. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll do it again tomorrow at 6 o'clock right here on your home of the Jags.